Yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen that are online. I welcome you all to this ProDev hour of our every Thursday. And I welcome everyone that is online. I can see a good number of us are already online. I welcome our dear General Secretary. I welcome our brother Charles, who is our today's speaker. And GS will be given minutes to usher him in, welcoming the guest in the house. GS?
Yes, please.
I want to take this honor to welcome you so that you welcome our guest, our brother Charles. You're welcome, GS.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bwana Moderator, our dear National Vice Chairperson, Mr. Tugume Benson. Allow me also welcome my elder brother Charles from UNESCO. I also take the honor to welcome, I can see brother Titus also from UNESCO who has also joined us. I can see a number of colleagues have already joined in. Dear teachers, thank you for joining us today to continue discussing and putting this year's theme of the World Teachers Day into context. But before I possibly weigh in, allow me to congratulate you all, dear Ugandans, for the Independence Day celebrations that have been conducted today. I congratulate all of you for reaching this day, and of course, wishing you the best as we continue to drive our country forward. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's theme has been well thought by UNESCO and other international bodies, and has been put as recasting teaching as a collaborative profession. In my opinion, this is a well thought theme and it is timely. It comes at a time when as teachers are the focal persons in as far as teaching is concerned and total education. At UPUSTU, we have taken significant steps to recast teaching as a collaborative profession through our initiatives that we have been conducting. For example, we have we have built a network of science teachers across the country where we connect with them throughout the year, every term. At least we have engagement through UPUST Science Innovation Projects competition that we started last year. And this engages teachers across the country. First of all, we organize them at regional level, where they organize the students and then they engage in this competition. By bringing out the science we teach in the laboratories, bringing it out to the society to make sure that whatever we teach focuses at solving the society problems that are being faced. And this enables us to have all teachers brought on board. We have also engaged in another initiative called the ProDev Hour, where weekly we bring all teachers across the country on board. We engage and discuss on various topics and issues concerning our education in Uganda and across the world, and also sharing ideas to see how we can combat the challenges facing our country, and particularly the education sector collectively. And as an organization, still on the theme, we have taken steps where we feel by engaging digital technology as a major enabler of collaboration through various online platforms, virtual communities, and other collaborative tools. We feel by engaging this, we can have our teachers connected. Teachers across all schools in the country can be connected in various regions so that they can be able to share resources, share ideas, and solve challenges together. So we have faced a number of challenges because as we engage in these online platforms and these virtual communities and collaborative tools, we discover that the disparities in access to devices, connectivity to the internet, and digital skills are still limited. And these also limit the full potential of our engagements. So this year's theme, in our opinion, as I earlier mentioned, it comes at a time when, as a teacher union, we have also tried our best to come up with initiatives that can enable us continue to transform education and the teaching profession as a more collaborative profession. I do not want to take much time. My only task was to weigh in briefly and also maybe take the honor to welcome our dear guest, Charles, to weigh in also on the theme at an international perspective. So thank you very much for listening to me. Charles, are you on?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, allow me take the honor to welcome you to address the online community. We have a number of teachers that have connected in, and dear Charles and colleague Titus. Our union has been organizing these online sessions and we engage in them weekly. And basically, the intention is to bring together all science teachers across the country so that we can be able to share on various topics. And today's discussion will basically based on the World Teachers theme for this year, which of course we are still celebrating. We are in the World Teachers Week still going on, and we are happy to host you tonight. And allow me request you to possibly address the community and the people listening in. You're welcome, Charles.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Aron Mugaiga, the Secretary General for the Uganda Professional Science Teachers of Uganda, Teachers Union of Uganda, the Vice Chairperson of the Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union of Uganda. I also do recognize the teachers who have signed on to attend to this very important discussion today. My colleague Titus from the UNESCO Antenna Office, education development partners who are following this discussion, the learners, if they're online, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Charles Draecabo, as introduced. I am the National Senior Project Officer of UNESCO Antenna Office in Uganda and the head of office. It therefore gives me a very big pleasure and honor to speak to you teachers on the line of the World Teachers Day, which is celebrated every year. As introduced, today's topic, the World Teachers Day 2025, Recasting Teachers as a Collaborative Profession, is very important in the context of Uganda, and I'll tell you how. But before I move into making my official statement, will allow me, ladies and gentlemen, just to highlight 3 things. One, is the fact that UNESCO globally designated the 5th of October every year as the World Teachers' Day. And this was done in order to celebrate the achievements of the teachers, to appreciate the teachers, to recognize the effort of the teachers on one side, and secondly, to advocate for the rights and the needs of the teachers in terms of policy framework that will be able to improve on the welfare and well-being and profession of the teachers. And lastly, also to be able to bring to the attention of the state and other members, stakeholders, the issues concerning the welfare and well-being of the teachers. So 5th of every year, or 5th October every year is the World Teachers' Day. Allow me now to congratulate all the teachers belatedly on the World Teachers' Day. And also, I would like to congratulate all the teachers for celebrating the 63rd anniversary of the independence of the Republic of Uganda. So congratulations to all of us. Secondly, I would also like to let you know that UNESCO is the UN lead agency that is responsible to support member states to attain and achieve SDG 4, which is about quality access to quality education for all. And in that perspective, we do support member states to address issues that relate to education, quality and inclusive education. And we've been doing that over the years, but particularly in Uganda, I highlight the fact that UNESCO project office has worked with the Ministry of Education and Sports to develop teacher program to support teacher programs in this country, which has resulted into development and the final enactment and launch of the national teacher policy, which gives the framework, which gives the guidance in order to implement quality teacher profession in this country. So we've done that, and one of the key pillars of that national teacher policy is the aspect of teacher social dialogue, where we engage and we support the teachers to engage with the learners, to engage with the stakeholders in order to bring to light, in order to bring to the attention of everybody what teachers need and what teachers want. So that's the second important thing. And the third one is, ladies and gentlemen, you know, in 2025, as we're celebrating and marking the World Teachers' Day, we are aware currently that a good number of the learners are not in the class. The teachers are not in the class because of the standoff between the teacher unions and the teachers themselves and the government due to unfulfilled commitments and pledges, resulting into a loss of learning for the learners. And we do hope and pray that this standoff will be resolved and resolved quickly so that learners can go back to continue their learning. So this is a very critical issue that I thought I should highlight. And in light of that, I therefore would like to welcome all of you to my written speech, which is basically the message from the UNESCO Director General, which she issues every year together with the UNICEF Director General and also International Labour Organization Secretary General on this World Teachers' Day, which is celebrated on the 5th day of October every year. So here is the message. Recasting teachers and teaching, recasting teaching as a collaborative profession. My dear colleagues, as we all know, teachers are the backbone of quality education. They drive learning and inclusion in schools. And in doing so, strengthen the very social fabric of our societies. Yet the profession, the teaching profession, is currently facing unprecedented crisis. One requiring political mobilization at the highest level, as recently emphasized at the World Summit on Teachers organized by UNESCO and the government of Chile. The global report on teachers was that an additional 44 million teachers are needed worldwide if we are to achieve universal primary and secondary education by 2030. In just 7 years, the number of teachers leaving the profession has doubled, further exacerbating the widespread shortage. This crisis is compounded by the teachers' working conditions. Teachers all too often experience professional isolation with few opportunities for continued development, peer learning, and the cooperation needed to ensure effective teaching practices. Reversing current trend in the teacher attrition and recruitment not only demands increased investment, but also policies that foster collaborative working environment throughout teachers' careers. This year's World Teachers' Day, ladies and gentlemen, which is held under the theme, Recasting Teaching as Collaborative Profession, therefore reminds us of the fundamentally collective and relational nature of education. It calls for teachers' collaboration in the classroom, in the digital sphere, and in decision-making space in order to strengthen the motivation and the resilience of these essential professions and enhance the quality of education for millions of students. This mindset shift involves 3 key components. First of all, rooting the profession in collaboration starts from the earliest days of teachers' career, shaping a professional identity grounded in cooperation rather than isolation, requiring peer learning, co-teaching, and mentoring to be placed at the heart of every part of their initial and continued training. This is why UNESCO has supported training of over 1.5 million teachers worldwide since 2018, providing them with opportunities to collectively strengthen their skills alongside experts and their peers. Secondly, while no technology can ever replace the humanity of teachers, collaborative digital tools are bringing opportunities for educators to work together across distances and disciplines like never before. Teachers must understand how to leverage technology to effectively enhance connection, dialogue, and cooperation with the peers and the students alike. Thirdly, we must also strengthen collaboration in educational decision-making by recognizing the critical role of teachers when it comes to policy design and school leadership. Through social dialogues, teachers can meaningfully contribute to shaping reforms that reflect classroom realities. Meanwhile, their involvement in decision-making from the policy to the school level can improve school climate, trust, and well-being for both staff and students. On this World Teachers' Day, therefore, UNESCO, International Labour Organization, UNICEF, and Education International call on governments, partners, and the international community to make a collective commitment to ensuring that collaboration is recognized as a norm within the teaching profession, because it is only through effective cooperation at all levels that we can build truly inclusive, equitable, and resilient education system worldwide. That ends the official statement, joint statement by the from Ms. Audrey Azole, the Director General of UNESCO, Mr. Gilbert F. Hugos, Director General of the International Labour Organization, Ms. Catherine Rochelle, Executive Director of UNICEF, Mr. David Edwards, General Secretary, Education International. That's the end of the official statement. So, colleagues, if you allow me the latitude just to again echo this statement in the light of what is prevailing in our country, and also in the line of the background statement I made at the beginning, I would like us to use this opportunity to reflect carefully on the teaching profession and teachers as a whole. Whereas today, this day is being organized by the Uganda Professional Science Teacher Unions, I am aware that there are many other teacher unions who are currently also advocating for the rights and well-being of the teachers. Now, therefore, the Teachers' World Day for 2025, the theme calls us to re-examine our conscience, to ask ourselves, to question the narrative, and to ask and try to find answers to the questions that when we are teaching and when we're in teaching profession, are we working in a collaboration? Is there a partnership? Or are we delivering the profession in isolation? And as you heard from the statement, 3 things are picked out. Where can this relationship begin? Where can the collaboration begin? It begins in teacher training. So while working with the Ministry of Education as opposed to the teacher department, UNESCO is strengthening the establishment and the operation of Uganda National Institute for Teacher Education, which among other things will be responsible for organizing quality training for teachers, including continuous professional development. It's not only going to be teaching them on the pedagogy, but also teaching them on how to relate. On many occasions, most of our challenges in teaching profession is because we do not collaborate well. We do not get proper mentorship. We do not delegate appropriately because we tend to take our discipline in isolation. I think the era today shows us that we can never go far when we take that approach. You are not alone as a teacher. You need to relate. You need to share your experiences. So the teaching in the teacher training institutions through the Uganda National Institute of Teacher Education advocates for continuous professional learning. We cannot stop learning. We should continue learning, and learning not only to teach, but learning also to collaborate. The second aspect which has been highlighted here is how to carry on with the profession of teaching in the era of digital technologies. We are seated here and we can be speaking to millions of people at once. We can be able to establish our relationship. We are able to research through online means. How can teachers take advantage of the digital space? How can we use the ICT technology, artificial intelligence, in order to enhance our teaching, in order to relate? Are we going to just remain in isolation? Are we prepared? Are we competent enough? Do we have the skills as teachers? So one of the things that UNESCO is doing in order to support that area is working with the Ministry of Education and Sports Teacher Department is to promote and support ICT in education programming to enable that the right policy for ICT in education is in place to ensure that there's a national learning management system, which is used by all those in teaching so that you teach using that learner management system, which is proven, and thirdly, to ensure that the teachers and indeed the learners have got the right competence to teach. So we cannot avoid ICT in education. We need to position ourselves if we have to relate well. How do you relate with the technology? How do you relate with your colleagues using technology? These are the challenges and these are the questions we must continuously asking ourselves. The last one is that in the era today, we should continuously engage with the colleagues in the teaching profession, with other stakeholders in order to be part of shaping the policy and the programs in this country. Therefore, UNESCO is supporting social dialogue, and soon we shall be inviting you people to participate in this dialogue as well in order to strengthen, in order to improve on the relationship, on the collaboration. What is your voice as a teacher in teaching? Or do you just remain in the classroom? How can you use your platform as a teacher to be able to relate well? So we must continuously engage and reshape the profession, add value to it in order to ensure that the teacher today is the teacher the learners want, and the teacher we have today is that motivated teacher. The teacher we have today is that professional teacher who has the competence and who has the framework to be able to deliver. So thank you very much for listening to my presentation, and I will therefore hand over back to the moderator to take us the discussion. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, dear Charles. The message is well received.
Yes,
and dear
yes.
colleagues for listening very much. Now, Charles, you have talked about the non-avoidance of ICT as a union. One of the platforms we are trying to create is that can bring together all the science teachers across the country, so that we do not teach in isolation, so that we collaborate and be able to share resources, share ideas, and be able to combat the challenges and the problems facing our country, and particularly the education sector, with a collective effort. I want to think that maybe by the time the technocrats came up with such a theme, could be a number of initiatives at a broad perspective to see how this teaching profession can actually be made a collaborative profession. You realize that one of the challenges we are meeting as an organization in bringing these teachers together and helping them to collaborate is the disparities and the digital divide. Like even now, as we try to come online, we realize that a number of colleagues will be failing. They try to join in, they cannot. Opportunities and initiatives at that level, if you can be able to share with us, that we can be able to tap in as an organization to continue helping our teachers to collaborate and have, of course, the teaching profession more of a collaborative one. Just weighing in, Charles.
All right. Thank you very much, the Secretary General, Dr. Mugaiga. Indeed, as highlighted when I was making my presentation, one of the key areas that UNESCO is trying to respond to globally is the issue of breaking the digital divide. We were very cautious to ensure that the digital platform for learning and for teaching is embraced by all and does not cause further divide between the people and among the people. Because if that happens, then it defeats the purpose of being a collaborative profession. So fundamentally, one of the things that we address ourselves is ICT competence for teachers and the teaching profession. Because unless the teachers themselves have got the competence in ICT, there is always fear, there is a phobia, even in trying to apply these technologies. So UNESCO globally is developing the ICT in education teacher competence framework that will be setting the platform and the framework within which teachers will be trained for in-service and pre-service teachers to be able to be trained in ICT competence. That's one. And secondly, during the World Teacher Summit that was just concluded, as I mentioned, in Chile, one of the issues that has come into the platform that UNESCO is addressing itself is the issue of artificial intelligence. How do you apply artificial intelligence and robotics in teaching? To break it down in simple terms, how can you use the recent technology for teaching? How do you use even your phone? Because phone is part of the technology that we are talking about. How do you use the computers for teaching? How do you use artificial intelligence for teaching? All these are one of the ways to be able to ensure that people continue relevant, to be relevant in their teaching profession. So that's one of the policy decisions, and there's a framework and a policy globally being developed. Now, all these things can only make sense if it is customized and adapted and implemented at the country level. At the country level, as I said, UNESCO, working with other education development partners, is trying to support Ministry of Education and Sports to be able to promote, strengthen, enhance ICT in education through a program supported by the government of Korea, for instance. In that, there are three things that we are addressing. One is the policy. We need to ensure that there is ICT in education policy. So we have done, UNESCO has done a scan of the policy environment and recommended, that study has strongly recommended that there needs to be a standalone ICT in education policy that will guide the teaching and the teaching of learning and teaching through ICT. So that process is going on. And secondly, we're addressing issue of ICT competence, the skills that the teachers who are out there, pre-service and in-service teachers, must have the necessary skills to be able to navigate and apply and use technology. So that means teachers have to be trained, they have to be provided. So we should see technology being applied in teacher training stations, also in schools where there is already in-service training organized for this kind of teacher to be needed. And lastly, we are addressing ourselves to the aspect of teacher learning management system, so that there is one platform that can be used nationally to be able to promote those. So those are some of the national level examples. What I would like to encourage for the union is also to support the members to be able to promote the development of these skills, because unless these teachers have these skills, they're not going to be able to do that. So as part of your program, I will encourage you under your profession, under your union, to reach out to the partners. There are many partners out there who will be very interested to support an effort to enhance teaching through technology. So I'm happy that you are organizing yourself, and at the appropriate time, you can reach out to development partners. You can also, within the the scope and within the possibility of what the union has, be able to organize. Maybe some of this series of the workshop can be turned into, at the appropriate time, people can be trained. So instead of just discussing, we can use the opportunity for training, on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis. So we need to be practical and we need to be pragmatic in order to solve the problem. But the bigger picture at the global level, at the national level, is what we're trying to move with, as I've outlined. I hope that clarifies. Thank you. Back to you, the moderator.
Oh, thank you, our brother Charles. We are so grateful for your words of wisdom and the encouragement that you're giving us as a union. We'll extend our gratitude to UNESCO as a development partner. UNESCO has done a lot to have this quality of education improved here in Uganda, especially. And as a union, we know that we are hinging on the works that were previously done by UNESCO, and it has provided a bigger foundation for us to thrive. Only that you find that much as a union, we are trying to put some platforms in place to see that teaching is really a collaborative engagement. You find that we are constrained by resources, and I would also wish to let members know that, for example, in the past, I used to hear of public libraries which are still existent in some areas, but those used to serve when the population was still low. Now the population has grown,
those public libraries are still only in urban settings. You find that, for example, today, what would work for most of us is like common user resource centers. Like every area, a community study center would have like that resource center. Charles, thank you so much for your words. And at this moment, I would like to let in um, I can see Madam Janet. Janet, you can be.
Thank you. Thank you and good evening. Thank you for inviting me to this weekly space of ProDev. It's the second time I'm attending, but I find it very useful. The discussions are very lively. The content is very resonating with the work that I also do. Is Janet. I work with UNICEF. Tight us very well. We trying to bring about digital transformation or enhance education in this country. I just wanted to also add my voice on the question devices and connectivity, or what critical enablers for all approaches to be possible. And so, colleagues, you will realize that when it comes to the digital infrastructure, these are actually majority are outside of the scope of the Ministry of Education, okay, that we work very closely with. So that means that improving the infrastructure can only be achieved through partnership and collaboration with other agencies, like NITA, Ministry of Education, or UCC, and the rest. So, for example, as a country, and looking at just large-scale improvements, we would assume that, say, the National Backbone Infrastructure Project, which is undertaken by NITA Uganda, and also complemented by RENU, and other commercial service providers, will extend connectivity to learning institutions, to other, areas in Uganda, including learning institutions. Okay. Now, what remains our role? Our role, I think, as development partners in this space, is to continue with advocacy so that investment, okay, are put in the right places so that these enablers can work for learning institutions. And this is an agenda that we are also prioritizing a lot. Okay, we have now the digital agenda strategy that has a whole outcome area related, on issues of infrastructure improvement, and it prioritizes about devices, talks about alternative power sources. Many of our rural areas do not have, power. So what is the alternative? How do we work with Ministry of Energy through Rural Electrification Agency to bring connectivity to rural areas? So there is also an extent to which, as UN agency or development partners, we engage, which is a lot of advocacy, and also pointing at maybe what are some innovative financing models that can work. For example, one area that I keep thinking about, I think that many teachers would want to even purchase devices for themselves to own. Because I imagine if a device is in the computer lab, yes, this is good. I can use it from there as a teacher, but I can't bring it home with me and have that level of flexibility if I want to, say, prepare my lesson plan or research or explore. Okay, it remains in the cloud. Some kind, I don't know whether it's called is it higher purchase, or what is it called? Where it has a name. where you buy, you maybe make a contribution, but also a company or an organization through an arrangement, maybe with Ministry of Education, allows teachers to buy their own devices. So they contribute a certain amount, teacher contributes a certain amount. This is a model that can also work towards teachers owning their own devices, and other connectivity models that comes with incentives for private service providers. So I just wanted to add there that there is some work going on. Gladly, we now have a strategy at the national level, in addition to some of the work that Charles has mentioned that UNESCO is doing. It's a relentless process, because we know that some of the interventions that we have that is bringing actual devices to classes. Maybe as UNICEF, we are working with Airtel to connect a few schools. That is not enough. It's not at scale. What can be done at the national level to ensure that the majority, or even the hardest to reach, learning institutions are connected, have the devices? So this is an area of work. Thank you for highlighting it. It remains an area of work for us to continue advocating and ensuring that resources are directed towards achieving improvement in the digital infrastructure for learning institutions. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Janet. We are having Titus also. We are going to take some more 5 minutes, so we are going to end at 9:05. So we can have the final remarks from the members. Let us have Titus.
Thank you, moderator. Thank you, all members of the Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union. And also thank you to Janet from UNICEF for bringing this to the attention of UNESCO. We came to understand that today's ProDev hour is it requires UNESCO to speak in it, and that is a great connection that you've made to make sure UNESCO is here. Now, regarding the discussion that we are in, I would like to bring to your attention also, not repeating what Charles said, also not repeating what Janet said, that yes, the country is already on the journey for the digital transformation of the education system in the country, making sure teachers are able to competently use technology to integrate in their teaching and learning. And this come even more for the science teachers compared to the rest, but we are not saying it's only for science teachers, but you know that science requires integration of technology more. Now, I would like to say that Charles and Janet already talked about enablers, but for me, I want to talk about the teachers' training. One of the big outcome of the digital agenda is also capacity development of teachers. And also, UNESCO has already developed a project that has also an outcome of the capacity development of teachers. And this capacity development of teachers that we have come up with is to implement the digital agenda strategy. So as a stakeholder, or as a big stakeholder in the education in this country, you should be aware of this. And we developed already the competency framework for the training of teachers, or the capacity development of teachers. Now, this competency framework, we are going ahead to develop the curriculum and the training modules, the course modules, and also the training materials and activities that can be used to integrate the teaching and learning using technology, ICT technology. So this is being done, and I want to confirm to this meeting that by February 2026, we will have even the curriculum and these training modules I'm talking about ready, and you will be in this journey when we will be calling for workshop for developing this curriculum. We will be calling for workshop for validation of our work and all that. You will be part of the journey. And at the global level, we are working together with Korean government and Korean education big stakeholders like KERIS. KERIS is the Korea Education Research and, and Innovation Services. So the KERIS is the research wing. Like here we have, we don't have the government specialized one, I think, but we have RENU. RENU is also research and education network for Uganda, something like that. So what we have seen in Korea, when KERIS organized a workshop there, we have seen what is called the teacher innovation hub. And we have been taken to only one university, but a number of universities have teachers innovation hub, where teachers go and develop innovation. They develop their own new innovative products, and when they develop those innovation, the innovation are incubated, the innovation are tested, the innovation are approved, and the innovation are integrated in the teaching and learning process. Now, if this is being done in Korea, and this is being done in many parts of the world, this can confirm that for this country, we are still sleeping in a way. We also need to move and reach that. And that is why UNESCO is saying the theme for this year should be recasting teaching and learning as a collaborative profession. So if you see the level of collaboration for the teachers in South Korea through the Teachers Innovation Hub, and what happens there and how they are doing, the continuous learning and capacity development, the CPDs and all that they do there. And the good thing is, for them, it is for free. Government pays everything for it. But here, if it comes, yes, the contribution may be required. Who pays for it? All those questions. Leave it to government, and then intergovernmental organization like UNESCO and UNICEF, and also some of the stakeholders or partners in development to think about how the 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 the, the, the financing of all this is going to be met. So this is very, very important. And the last thing I would like to say is that, yes, alongside the teachers training, we are going to have a webinar this month of October on the 27th from 11 a.m. up to 1 p.m. And this webinar is a global level webinar targeting 3 countries that are implementing ICT Transforming Education in Africa project. That is Uganda, Tanzania, and Namibia. And the webinar is also about the targeting teachers on teachers' capacity development. So it is in preparation for the teachers' capacity development that will come after the curriculum and the course module is developed. And the speakers that will speak in these webinars are coming also from Korea, and KERIS will organize the speakers. They will speak to this, and the webinar is being organized by KERIS. Actually, it is organized and confirmed. I'm just waiting for the document, and I will circulate it. Once you get it, circulate it widely to teachers, so that teachers can log on and listen. And then the union need also to log on, because this is targeting your members, and also the ministry would need to log on. So many would need to log on. So we are on the right track. We are on the journey, and I want to believe Rome was not built in one day, but we will have transformation of the education system in the country. Thank you for organizing this, and thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, thank you very much, Titus, for that insight. And yeah, this is really, very good. And maybe before I get back to Charles for final parting shots, you talked about the TSPD, Teacher Social Policy Dialogue, and I confirm last year we were invited as APS 2. We were part of, we were brought together in one room. You see, there has been this issue of teacher unions feeling that each union is on like partitioned from our own advocacy efforts that have been ongoing. When you see the science teachers advocating, the arts teachers advocating, and they're like each one is on their own. But UNESCO brought us together for these workshops which were there, and they were encouraging us to work together and cooperate and be able to see what is the issues, the teacher issues that we need to address as educators. So that was very good, and we really want to encourage you to always invite us to participate in some of these programs. Yeah, so I would like to invite you to give final comments since our time has gone, and then we shall close. Mr. Charles.
Thank you very much, the moderator. If I may, I will begin with the last one, the request to invite you, and I can already send a verbal invitation for the same, where we're going to bring the different unions together to talk about the theme of World Teachers Day for this year and address aspects of how to use the social dialogue as a platform for engagement with the different stakeholders. This will be coming in the next 2 weeks. Before the end of this month, it will be held, and you get the invitation. So just be assured. And secondly, as we reflect on today, as teachers, we are coming here today under the platform of the Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union. And the Science Teachers Union have a very big role in terms of digitalizing education. Because talking about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. UNESCO is working with the government and the government of China also to try to promote STEM in the country. And I would like to encourage all of you under your platform to take leadership in a small way, because many of these things do happen, but somebody has to take responsibility and provide the leadership. And I'm happy that the union is taking already the leadership to be able to bring people together. I will encourage you to pursue that further and establish the collaborations and identify other interested stakeholders in order to advance the agenda for science teaching, for mathematics, for engineering. I would also like to take this opportunity to congratulate and thank the government of Uganda, because the government has provided the right policy environment in promoting sciences. And I think this is something that is good for our country, for development. And with it comes the drive for us to embrace ICT in education and also to embrace artificial teaching. Just as we do this, and as you very rightly put it, the science teachers cannot do this in isolation. We need the collaboration and the participation of humanity teachers as well. So that when you teach, you don't only teach sciences using the ICT.
I would thank our representatives of the Development Partnership. It has been a pleasure to host you here at our weekly ProDev Hour, and we have learned a lot from you. We have shared a lot from you, and I would like to thank our General Secretary, Dr. Aron, for being there for us to share a lot of insights that we have had, and everyone that has managed to attend, and everyone for supporting this cause. May God bless you and have a blessed night, everyone.